Hi, this is Eliza.
Amber.
Welcome to our 20th unboxing, lucky number 20. We actually have a big box of books. It's so big that we almost can't lift it. So we'll try to go through them at a pretty good clip. And it's all stuff for adults, and there's some really good books in here, so stay tuned.
So we probably won't be able to go as fast as we think we can.
But we'll try.
Okay, first one, Only Child by Rhiannon Navin. Anything that you have to add to this?
It's about gun violence in school.
So very timely fiction.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to want to read that, even though it's probably sad. This is the newest MC Beaton, Death of an Honest Man. This is sort of a sweet series starring Hamish Macbeth. It's also been a TV show, and it's kind of fun to read for the mysteries and then also for just like all his girlfriend drama.
The Atomic City Girls by Janet Beard. Takes place in 1944 in Tennessee.
Oh, about women who have been recruited to be scientists, I think.
It's about the bombing of Hiroshima.
Yeah. Historical fiction.
Yes.
This is actually a book that called Brass. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. Xhenet Aliu. And it's local. It takes place in Connecticut. And it's about a woman growing up working at a diner and just trying to make a living in Waterbury, Connecticut. I think that they might be immigrants. Oh, Lithuanian immigrants.
Educated, a memoir by Tara Westover. So it is true life.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. I totally know what this is about because I listened to the interview on Fresh Air, and it's about a woman who grew up in rural, I think, Idaho, and her parents were really radical sort of survivalists, and she didn't even have a birth certificate because she was born at home, and they never reported her birth, and they never took the kids to the doctor or sent them to school or anything, and then she ended up leaving her family and going to college, and now she wrote a book. But the interview was really interesting, and her childhood was just so different from so many people's.
Sounds like
Yeah. Oh, I stole yours. Here's the newest Walter Mosley, Life Under the Sea. So I think all of his fans will be happy.
Skin in the Game, Hidden Asymmetries in Daily Life. I don't know what that title means.
I think it's like pop sociology, sort of.
Okay.
Brotopia, Breaking Up the Boys Club in Silicon Valley. This stuff has been in the news a lot lately, so people who are following all of those dramas, I think, will like this.
I like the title, Brotopia.
Yeah.
All American Murder, The Rise and Fall of Aaron Hernandez, the superstar whose life ended on Murderer's Row. So that basically tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
It's also by James Patterson and Alex Abramovic, but James Patterson is the main author.
Oh, Red Clocks. This is a book that's getting compared a lot to The Handmaid's Tale about a sort of modern day society where they make abortion illegal and then all of the implications about that. And I think it's a whole bunch of different female characters and the situations that they get into.
Next is The Healing Self, a revolutionary new plan to supercharge your immunity and stay well for life by Deepak Chopra and Rudolph Tanzi.
This book has, I think, my favorite title of all the books. It's called Food, What the Heck Should I Eat? And if you've been watching these, you know we get a lot of like diet books and cookbooks and other things. So I feel like this is just like the culmination of all of them because it's really confusing.
Yeah, agreed. This Love Story Will Self-Destruct by Leslie Cohen. This is the classic tale of boy meets girl. Girl goes home with someone else. That's what it says on the back.
It's actually a pretty good line. In Full Flight, A Story of Africa and Atonement. This is a memoir by John Hemingway about doctors working in Africa. Oh, and it takes place post-World War II.
Next, thriller by Lisa Gardner called Look for Me.
The line becomes a river, dispatches from the border. This is about just stories from the border between the United States and Mexico. We have a lot of topical things.
Yeah. This is 50/50 by James Patterson and Candace Fox.
Surprise Me by Sophie Kinsella. Her books are really, they're silly, but they're really funny. She has a good habit of making me laugh.
Need to Know by Karen Cleveland. It's fiction. In pursuit of a Russian sleeper cell on American soil, a CIA analyst uncovers a dangerous secret that will threaten her job, her family, and her life.
The Deceivers by Alex Berenson, another political thriller.
Let's see. Enlightenment Now, The Case for Reason, Science, Humanism, and Progress by Steven Pinker. It is a heavy book with charts and graphs and things, but
one of his things is he's making the argument that the world is actually getting to be a better place rather than a worse place, which I think is
nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it feels different than the message we get usually from like the news and maybe our own emotions.
Yeah.
But he does a really good job looking through history and supporting his arguments. Freshwater, a debut novel by Akwaeke Emezi, and takes place in southern Nigeria. She travels to America and gets her education. It has a really beautiful cover. I don't know if you can see.
The Bad Daughter by Joy Fielding. Possibly a thriller?
Yeah, it says plot twists. Clues and plot twists. Oh, another one. I've been listening to a lot of Fresh Air interviews. I listened to the interview with John Leland, the author of Happiness is a Choice You Make, Lessons from a Year Among the Oldest Old, where he interviewed people in their 80s and 90s about their lives. And the interview was great. I suspect the book is going to be really good.
Everything Happens for a Reason by Kate Bowler, and this is a biography.
So she is, I think, living with stage 4 colon cancer.
Yeah, that's what it says. And the prospect of her own mortality forces her to realize all kinds of things.
Really scary thing. Song of a Captive Bird. This takes place in Iran, and about a woman during the summer of 1950 who gets stuck in a suffocating marriage.
An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. This is a fiction. We know anything about it. Newlyweds, American Dream, New South. It's about marriage. Obviously, an American marriage.
I can't remember. It says a stunning epic love story. I think it's getting really good reviews. How to Stop Time. I'm really excited about this one because it's about a guy who lives for a really long time. He lives like 20 times as long as a normal human. And I think he sort of, like everybody dies and he's freaking out. And so, I don't know. I just thought it sounded interesting because I think it's sort of a look at mortality and time passing.
Is it it's fiction?
It's fiction. Yeah. It's not fiction about a guy who lives 20 times longer. Than one human.
Yeah, no, I guess. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. I understand.
It would be cool though.
This is called The Friend by Sigrid Nunez, and it's a small book.
I think it's about a woman whose friend passes away and leaves her their dog.
A Great Dane.
I really loved her book, The Last of Her Kind. It was like a super thick historical fiction. I don't think anyone would just pick it up on a whim, but I read the whole thing and I just loved it. How Democracies Die, another one that's sort of topical, looking at, I feel like the title explains it.
A False Report, A True Story of Rape in America by T. Christian Miller and Ken Armstrong. This seems interesting.
I think it's an in-depth examination of a rape case where they thought she was giving a false report and then it turned out to be true.
Interesting.
Peter Carey, A Long Way from Home. I've actually never read any of his books. Oh, historical fiction takes place in 1954 Australia, and I think a lot of people like Peter Carey, so he has a lot of fans.
The Wedding Date by Jasmin Guillory. This looks like a nice light read.
It does, looks cute. Not so light. This one is called A River in Darkness.
Boom, boom, boom.
A River in Darkness, One Man's Escape from North Korea. And again, hard to read about, but I think it is important that we know what's going on. Here he is on the back there. I think people might be interested in this too with the Olympics having just been in South Korea.
This is a really heavy one. The Wizard and the Prophet, Two Remarkable Scientists and Their Dueling Visions to Shape Tomorrow's World by Charles C. Mann.
He wrote this really fascinating book called 1491 about what North and South America were like before Columbus arrived, and it was really, really interesting and not at all what I had learned in school. So I have a high respect for him. This one is called The Year of Less, How I Stopped Shopping, Gave Away My Belongings, and Discovered Life is Worth More Than Anything You Can Buy in a Store. I like these ones where it just tells us everything. We don't really need to summarize it. I feel like that's pretty clear.
Minimalism has definitely been a theme among the books that are popular right now.
Yeah, between the death cleaning and the life-changing magic of tidying.
Of nothingness. Yeah, those things. The Monk of Mokha by Dave Eggers in his style. True story of a young Yemeni American man raised in San Francisco who dreams of resurrecting the ancient art of Yemeni coffee, but finds himself trapped in Sana'a by civil war. Looks interesting.
That does look interesting. So, I feel like we've got a lot of
we have a lot of a really good assortment here.
Yeah.
If you can't find something here, then
anybody should be able to find something. And it was a really huge box. Now it's empty, so I can lift it.
And 13 minutes later. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.